Thanks for joining us again. As I said, my name is Jim Garfield with IVI IPO. We're joined here with our next candidate, Anthony Joel Quezada.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Good evening.
Joining us, now you're running for Cook County Commissioner of the 8th District.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, first things first, welcome to the show, and congratulations on the endorsement from IVI IPO. Just for those who don't know, where is the 8th District of Cook County?
Yeah, the 8th District is on the northwest side of Chicago, so it has over a dozen neighborhoods, including Logan Square, Humboldt Park, Hermosa, Irving Park, Belmont Cragen, Dunning, Portage Park. So it's on the northwest region of Chicago. And I also wanted to thank you for having me here and for the endorsement of IVI IPO. It's a great honor because the IVI has such a great history in independent political power, building independent political power for working class people. And I'm actually a founding organizer of one of our own IPOs on the northwest side called United Neighbors of the 35th Ward. So we're carrying on the tradition of building independent political power for working class people.
Now, you beat me to it. I was going to mention that, but I was also going to say that you are, in fact, the 35th Ward committeeman and a political organizer, community organizer in that area as well. Yeah. So that's a lot of work. And actually, it's earned you quite a few endorsements here. I'm going to see if I can run through a couple of them. So Congressman Chuy Garcia, Senators Martwick, Aquino, Robert Peters, Representatives Delia Ramirez, Will Guzzardi, Kelly Cassidy, several aldermen here, Victory Fund, Sierra Club, Girl I Guess, Equality Illinois, IVI IPO. There's a very long list here. I could spend the next 12 of our 15 minutes together listing this off. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. And the reason why I have those endorsements is because I have such a rich history working with all these leaders, all these organizations, and some of the progressive labor unions like the Illinois Nurses Association and the Cook County College Teachers Union. As you mentioned, I've been a community organizer for over 6 years now in the same neighborhood that I was born and raised in. And it's because, we need to be building political power, again, for poor and working class people to actually fundamentally transform our government and our economy so that we can fight for social and racial and economic justice. And so I've worked with all these organizations. I've worked with all these elected leaders on passing, bills, on fighting for bills and organizing in our communities and electing progressive champions. I've been doing that work consistently, and that's why, they trust me to be our next Cook County Commissioner of the 8th District.
Now, I feel like a lot of folks, they know their aldermen at the city, and they know their state, representative senators, they know maybe the congressman. County's kind of in that weird middle area. So what is it that the county does? What is a commissioner's role?
Yeah, well, we're definitely looking to change that.
Okay.
We want to make sure people know who their county commissioner is. The county board commissioners, which has 17 commissioners, because we have 17 districts, is the governing and legislative body for the county. So you have your 17 commissioners, you have your Cook County Board President, Tony Preckwinkle, and the Cook County Board of Commissioners oversees our health and hospital system, our Cook County forest preserves, our county jail system, our infrastructure like our county highways, and criminal justice. So, it plays a huge role in the day-to-day lives of people in our communities. And, it's a shame that some people don't know who their commissioners are. And I think that's also a testament to sometimes the leadership of the commissioner for not making themselves well known in their communities. And that's definitely the case in the 8th District. A lot of people don't know who our commissioner is. And if they do know who he is, it's for bad reasons, not for good reasons.
Well, I won't give any press or airtime on that one, but I will say, that it's a good thing that you do want to get out there and make sure folks do know who you are.
Yeah.
Now, when you mentioned the health systems, I know people think of, Stroger, Cook County Hospital as like the institution, but then everywhere else you think of kind of private hospitals, religious hospitals, things like that. One's connected to universities. What other Cook County hospitals are there in the system?
Well, there are clinics. So there's a Belmont Cragen healthcare clinic. There's an Austin clinic. There are over a dozen clinics around Cook County. But I think we need more. We definitely need more, right? We have a mental health care crisis in our society. And, I would be very interested, if elected, to advocate building more neighborhood-based clinics so that everyone knows, my clinic is down the street or it's, a couple blocks over. I can take the bus to my clinic. I definitely think we need to have more clinics and more hospitals, especially under a global pandemic, right? We need to make sure that we have a robust public healthcare system, and that we're moving toward universal healthcare, and that we're providing healthcare to everyone, regardless of their income, regardless of their employment status, and even their citizenship status. I think that's the best way to have a healthy and happy community.
Now, do you picture this as being partnerships with private nonprofits, or do you picture this as being county-run clinics?
Yeah, I believe so. What I would want to do is make sure that we have robust county-run clinics. And I, of course, want to be working with our state legislators and our federal legislators to talk about how we're moving toward universal health care like Medicare for All, and having more robust public institutions across the county and the city.
Now, I know Illinois, or I suppose Cook County, has county care as its kind of Illinois Medicaid pass-through is the organization. Do you see that as kind of expanding to basically cover everyone in Cook County has county care as a base level? Is that the kind of universal health care you're thinking of?
Yeah, I definitely want to see, how can we use county care as a model for universal health care? How are we expanding it to more people in income brackets? Because right now it's mainly for lower income folks, people who are unemployed. So how can we expand that to undocumented families or folks who are not within the current income bracket? Because there are about 9.6% of Cook County residents who are uninsured right now. So I think it's also meaning, having to reach out to those people who are uninsured and making sure that they're enrolled in county care.
Now, I checked out a lot of your policies, and you want to focus largely, well, one of them on homelessness.
Absolutely.
What do you see as the county's role in that?
Well, I think the county should play a larger role, right, in coordinating homeless outreach services, social work services with the City of Chicago and the surrounding municipalities in Cook County. I think we need to work with their Department of Family and Support Services to make sure if someone's coming through a county hospital or a county clinic, how are they being coordinated with city resources and vice versa, right? I've worked in public service for the past 6 years as the Neighborhood Services Director for Alderman Carlos Rosa of the 35th Ward, and I have countless experiences with individuals experiencing homelessness and seeing how our system absolutely fails folks, right? There was one gentleman by the name of Dennis Domsky who had been experiencing homelessness for 10 years, and it took my colleague and I 1 year to find him a housing unit, but then to also make sure that he was enrolled in health care, that he had the systems that he needed in place for him. And so I think, how are we making sure that all of our government systems are communicating with each other? How are we coordinating services? And how are we making sure that we're creating a safe, a public safety net for people in our communities, especially those who are most impacted? Homelessness is something that's really near and dear to my heart. My family experienced poverty growing up, and so I understand that struggle. But I think we also just don't give enough attention to people who are ignored in our society, right? People who don't have a home, people who are hungry every day, and a lot of times people just walk past them and don't give them the dignity or respect that they need. So as a commissioner, I want to be a compassionate leader, and I want to make sure I'm helping those who are most directly impacted by poverty.
Now, you also talk a lot about wanting to fight corruption. That's a very general term. Fighting corruption is a great thing. What kind of things do you hope to bring to Cook County
Yes.
In this position?
Well, I think we definitely need to put a ban on corporate lobbying for current commissioners and for future retired commissioners. The person that I'm running against, the incumbent, in his tenure as a commissioner, he served as a corporate lobbyist for a petroleum and oil company that actually contracts services with the county, which is a clear conflict of interest, and which is why he's the subject of a federal investigation around lobbying in Illinois. So I think we need to put an end to that, and I think we truly need to have a government of, by, and for the people, not for corporations, not for lobbyists. And I think that goes from every single level of government, from the city to the county to the state and to the federal government. We need legislators who are actually fighting and representing our communities, and not corporations or their profits.
Now, do you think that is it just lobbying, or is it any outside employment? Could they be employed also as an attorney or as a doctor or whatever, and also this role if there's no conflict of interest?
And I think we need to explore exactly the roles that commissioners have and what legislation that they're passing. Maybe perhaps putting a ban on commissioners who are also real estate lawyers, right, or property lawyers of some sort, because they could be contracting services to the entities that they're representing from their role as a commissioner. So I think we need to eliminate those conflicts of interest, take a look at what kind of secondary employments we should be banning. I think our legislators should be full-time legislators. They shouldn't be working in corporations or for corporations that they're also legislating for. I think that's not what people want.
Now, I noticed that you on your site you talk about the Cook County Land Bank. Can you, for those folks who don't know, can you explain what that is and what it does?
Yeah, so the land bank is a place, so the county has properties, right? They have parcels of property across the county, and they're able to invest public resources in those entities. And so I want to make sure that the land bank, which has parcels of housing, is being used to make sure that we're preserving housing, and especially affordable housing, or that we're retrofitting housing across Cook County to make sure that it's safe, that it's affordable for generations to come.
So is this, I guess, are these houses or plots of land that the county owns and then will sell as it goes out?
They could sell.
Or that does it kind of continue owning it but rent it out to people? How does that work?
Yeah, so I believe, from what I understand, it owns it. And so people can, have contracts with the county to have kind of a below market rate on their housing prices.
Okay.
From what I understand correctly, yeah.
Okay. What are the, you're elected, you're sworn in, great. It's that grace period right at the beginning. What are the top 3 things that you want to see pushed through?
Yeah, so I definitely want to make sure that we're investing a lot more money into our county forest preserve system. A lot of guests before here, we're talking about the threat of climate change. So I want to make sure that we have all of our forest preserves up to date, that we're modernizing our infrastructure, that we're tending to the land, that we're planting more trees, because we have so many species, both flora and fauna, that are under the threat of extinction. So when I'm thinking about climate change, I want to make sure that our nature preserves and our natural resources are preserved for generations to come, but they're also creating green jobs, especially for our youth and in underserved communities. So I'd definitely be interested in exploring summer jobs programs for our youth, planting trees and tending to the land. I also want to make sure that the county is playing a larger role in creating affordable housing across the county, and especially working with municipalities like the city of Chicago. And I think third is making sure that we're investing more money into our county hospital system. And I definitely want to make sure we're developing an assessment of the need for mental health care across the 8th District and across Cook County, so that we can find ways of creating more mental health care facilities.
Now, just mental health, or do you want to see the facilities be mental and physical health? Is it an expansion of all of those, or just mental?
Yeah, no, expansion of all of those, but we definitely have a mental health crisis right now. And so I do want to make sure that we're particularly focusing on that, but I definitely want to see physical and mental health infrastructure be expanded across the county.
What's your punch number?
124.
124.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I want to go ahead and say make sure to vote June 28th. Early voting is, again, June 13th to June 27th. And make sure to punch
124.
124. Thank you all. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Yeah.